Hello, this is Hamza again from GamingOnLinux.com, and today I wanted to talk to you about OpenMW. So yeah, this is the re-implementation of the Morrowind engine. Also it's open source, hence OpenMW. And as you might have guessed, it runs the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, a game by Bethesda released in 2002 originally. And it's likely going to be the only Bethesda game that you will ever play natively on Linux, and even that only thanks to OpenMW. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you about this project, and also, of course, a little bit about Morrowind, because I quite like this project and I believe that you should probably be aware of it. So anyway, Morrowind is an RPG, and you have likely seen the Elder Scrolls games before, but yeah, basically you are thrown into the province of Morrowind and you are free to explore it as you please. The game kind of goes like this. It tells you that, hey, there is this important task for you, but before you do anything you should probably go out there and explore a bit, and that's exactly what I did, and I became a mage. And yeah, there is just a lot of stuff to do in Morrowind. It's a quite fantastic and quite a huge RPG, to be honest. You can become like a mage, an assassin, fighter, whatever. There are various kinds of factions and guilds to join, and lots of different ways to play the game. You have basically the whole Morrowind for you to explore, and while it's not all that huge, it's still pretty damn huge. There are lots of different dungeons, temples, ruins, cities, numerous quests, and basically all of these factions have their own quest lines. I probably wouldn't lie too much if I said that it's probably the biggest Linux RPG out there. Like, I cannot think of anything bigger than this on the top of my head. However, it's kind of starting to show its age. The combat mechanics in Morrowind are not necessarily all that modern. They are, in my opinion, a little bit clunky, especially if you are going with just pure melee character. The game is sort of focused on dice rolls. Basically, you have a chance to hit your opponent and you do X amount of damage, and the damage is calculated with random number generation. There is a lot of like RNG in this game. So it's not really all that much action, but coupled in with some like spells, it's a reasonably good experience. Also, the land of Morrowind, as you might already see, is not really all that modern either. It's a little bit barren, but then again, this is a game that came out in 2002, and considering the scale of the game, it's actually pretty good. The size of Morrowind is actually shown quite well by the fact that you actually need to walk everywhere. There isn't really like any fast travel system like in modern the Elder Scrolls games, if you are familiar with those, where you can basically just select a point and then you will go there, more or less. There is some amount of fast travel, for example ships that go to other towns and cities, and there are various other paid services that will take you from place to place. But if you want to explore areas that are outside of these couple of towns and cities, then you most likely will have to just walk there on your own. And the game world is actually quite big, so it might take some time to actually get around to these more remote areas. But there are of course various dungeons etc. on the way, so even though it's a bit of a walking simulator, it doesn't get too bad. And about OpenMW itself, in addition to doing just the Morrowind stuff, which it already does quite well, of course OpenMW is still being actively developed. It's not finished yet. The newest version is 0.37. So far it seems to just have all the basic gameplay mechanics, and I have never run into a quest that doesn't work due to missing features, etc. So it's, in my opinion, it's starting to look really complete right now. They are also aiming to improve Morrowind in various kinds of ways. If you look at OpenMW right now, the water quality is a lot better in OpenMW than it was in Morrowind, and in the past they also had dynamic shadows and all kinds of interesting things like that. Those have been scrapped temporarily for the 0.37 release, but they will probably make their way back. OpenMW is also compatible with like original Morrowind mods. Of course, not all of them, especially the ones that deal heavily with the renderer, which is of course completely different here. But some of the, as far as I know, I haven't tested this myself, but many of the gameplay mods and some of the graphical enhancement mods actually work quite well. And OpenMW also comes with its own modding tools, which will allow you to create your own mods if you want to do so. So, I have spent quite a lot of time in Morrowind, and personally I think it's a quite nice game, and even though it's quite old at this point, it's still, apart from maybe the combat, it still stands the test of time quite well. I have definitely enjoyed my time, and I will probably enjoy my time quite a bit more, because I haven't even touched the main quest stuff for now. I have mainly just gone off and done Mage's Guild stuff, but there is simply a lot of stuff. There are probably hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of content here. And I think that if you are an RPG fan on Linux, you should probably consider looking at OpenMW. Of course, Morrowind is not really a Linux game. It's not native. The OpenMW project is completely third-party stuff, so I probably wouldn't pay full price for it. The game seems to cost around 20 euros, and in my opinion, that's a little bit too much, considering that the original developers haven't really done anything to make this work for us. But if it's discounted on GOG or Steam, I think you should probably buy it. But I would also recommend that you donate to the OpenMW project at the same time, so that they can get their share. I definitely do recommend that you at least check out OpenMW. It's a fantastic project, and even though Morrowind is kinda old, it's still a very nice RPG, and I have heard all kinds of good things about Morrowind. And I cannot wait to get into the main quest stuff at some point, but I imagine I will have quite a few hours of other content to go through before I even get to the main quest. Anyway, this has been me and OpenMW, and we will see in future videos.